Do you enjoy a good comedy? I know I do. Now, back in around 2004, there was an Adam Sandler comedy called 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, so on and so forth. But most importantly, in that movie, very funny movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it, in that movie, there was a cameo done by a character called 10-Second Tom. Now, Tom had a brain injury of some sort, and he could only remember 10 seconds at a clip. And then it was like, boom, reset. He'd have to reset back to zero again. So in other words, hi, I'm Tom. You're talking to him for a few seconds, 10 seconds later, hi, I'm Tom. You're talking to him, hi, I'm Tom. So Tom had no ability to retain anything. Now, I want you to imagine if this was a new team member on for you in your company, right? This new team member, you bring them in day one, you onboard them in a grand way, you tell them everything they need to know, you tool them up, you gear them up, you think they're ready to rock, right? They come in day two. What happens? They basically forgot everything you told them. It's like going back to square one, right? Maybe they retain a tiny bit, but not a lot. So now you have to go and you have to retrain them again, keep giving it to them again. Okay, you're a little tired after day two. They come in day three, boom, they forgot it all again. Now we got a big problem, right? Now, as a business owner, I know I wouldn't tolerate that. You know, you probably wouldn't either. And if you are, we have another thing to talk about there. But bottom line is, not a good situation. Now, when we delve into the realm of AI, and let me tell you, before I do, because we're going to go deep into AI in just a moment here, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. If you want more videos like this, it'll really help me out. I'd much appreciate that. So if you can, like and subscribe real quick. So coming back to the concept of AI, AI is much like that employee, right? It's much like 10-Second Tom, where it's not going to remember a tremendous amount. And it's getting better and better. Don't get me wrong. It is getting better. It's what we call persistent memory, right? So some tools are much better than others. And how you set those tools up is going to make a big difference on whether or not the tool is going to be good or not good, right? So when we go into the different types of tools, each of the tools approach it a different way. Like when you go with Claude and you go with ChatGPT, yeah, they give you project folders that you can upload wisdom to. And it'll always look in those project folders for that wisdom and refresh itself, right? Most people don't even do that. Some, they all will give you the ability to put some basic instructions in the settings. Yeah, good stuff. That's something, right? But what I have for you here is better. Number one, because it's tool agnostic. And what that means basically is it doesn't matter what tool you want to use. You can create this one document once. And I can guarantee you that you probably have never sat down and thought this much about your business before. And unfortunately, you need to, you know, or fortunately, I should say, because when we think about our business in this way, it only does good things for us, gets us clear on who we serve and what we do and how we do it and all of that good stuff. So what am I talking about here? I saw a pain in the industry in my world when I was first using AI a couple of years ago. So I created this thing called a Keystone Asset. It's named that for a specific reason, a keystone, right? That top piece that holds everything together, right? So, and makes it look good and makes it work good. Well, the Keystone Asset is meant to educate AI. So if AI was 10-Second Tom and I gave 10-Second Tom this document, 10 seconds in, Tom wouldn't have to spend 10 seconds if he was AI. AI will read that document in a nanosecond. And it'll have all my information and be intelligent enough to work with me. Because I, much like you shouldn't accept mediocre work. AI does a great job of bringing everything to the middle. It'll make the dullards look smarter. It'll make the smart people look dumber, right? Comes to the medium, right? The mean of everything out there. That's the unfortunate truth if you're depending solely on AI to do it all for you, right? Hopefully you're smarter and you would be dumbed down, because that gives us more room to play with here. So the Keystone Asset is meant to take your genius, get it in this document, and feed that to AI when you're working with it. So if I'm using Claude or ChatGPT, they have what's called project folders. I can load this document in there once, and I never have to tell it this stuff again. I don't want to have to tell it this stuff again. Gemini, a little bit more tricky, right? Gemini, you have to tie in either Notebook LM with Gemini, or you can use a Gemini gem to do something about it. But a little bit, it's like, come on, Google, let's go. Get with the program. Make this a little bit easier, right? We want to give persistent memory a boost, right? We don't want to just depend on AI remembering. We want to make sure it knows. There is a difference, right? A big difference. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the Keystone Asset. The Keystone Asset covers the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and then the how of you, your business, your clientele, everything about you. This is key. This is paramount, because if you feed this information into AI, it's going to function and act much smarter than it ever could. So if you're getting mediocre output as we speak right now, this might be the reason why. So what I've done for you is I've made my Keystone Asset document available to you. Now, down in the description, there's going to be a link where you can grab the Keystone Asset, not only the template, but I'm going to give you a couple of samples so that you can see it in its real use case, right? So that's key, because now you'll be able to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And it will ask you and prompt you the right questions. Now, it could end up being a 10, 20-page document. Yes, Dean, I know it's going to take me forever. I can't do that. I don't have time to do that. Hey, you know what? Penny wise, pound foolish. Invest the time. I'm telling you, it'll make all the difference in what you're getting. And again, remember, it's tool agnostic. So yeah, Claude has its own way of wanting you to do it, and this one has its own way, and great. That's all fun and great. But you shouldn't be tool dependent. I'm not, right? That's my opinion, right? If one tool isn't giving me what I need, I turn to the next tool, right? And I'm constantly jumping between tools every single day. That might be your world if you end up being a power user. I'm somewhat of a power user, I guess. So that's what the world starts to look like. So down in the description will be the link for you to grab the Keystone Asset. Make sure you grab it. It's free. It's free. This is my way of helping folks out there get a little bit more value out of AI, right? Because it does start to cost a lot. And I'm not talking about the $20 a month subscription. I'm talking about all the time you invest, re-explaining yourself, talking things through again. So remember, if you feed this document, this Keystone Asset, with the who, what, when, where, why, and how into AI, you're going to get a better output. So for me, Dean Mercado, Master Coach at Online Marketing Muscle, thank you for your time. Once again, please, if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe. It'll really help me out. It'll help boost this channel up a little bit. We need to get the message out there to more people. All right? So once again, for me, make it a great day. All right? Here's to your success.